Hello and happy Saturday, or whatever day it is that you're watching this. I have decided to go cold turkey on Instagram and Facebook for an indefinite amount of time. Last night I decided I'm quitting these couple major social media platforms, or as I call them, socials platforms. I'm just reading off notes, by the way. I watched this short video on YouTube by someone called Maxwell, and I clicked on it while I was trying to fall asleep a couple nights ago. He seems younger than me, and he was just talking about how much clearer he saw the world and how much everyone should try it. And he spoke with so much conviction, so I just thought to myself, half asleep, what if I just did it? And I deleted my Instagram and Facebook apps. With my relationship with socials, I've touched on it a bit on here on this channel, but I've used the internet since I was 6 for things like Barbie games and Willy Wonka games, and I've used like those games as kind of like my stepping stone into using socials since I was 8 years old. So I've always been known as a socials person. And when we got school emails, for example, when we were 8, I used it as a messaging platform. Like I was living in 2015 messenger times in 2009. And I got Instagram for the first time when I was 12 years old. There was a time when I was about 13 to 15 that I deleted Instagram, but I replaced it with Facebook, so I became addicted to that as well. And then I became a content creator, first as a hobby, but then I actually started being paid. But altogether, I've been doing it for the past half decade. So I also wanted to grow my socials for the purposes of a modeling portfolio, and then that became my focus as well. So with my downfall, I don't overuse Facebook anymore, so this is more about Instagram. But I was in a place where I knew that if I went any further, I would develop an eating disorder due to my height insecurity with modeling. This led to me reframing exactly how I feel about Instagram, and I started full-time work last year. I was just posting random reels to get rid of some photos, make space on my phone, get more storage. But there were these 2 guys who started commenting hate and having conversations with each other in the comment section about how stupid and dumb they found my content. And I've had hate before, even from people I know in real life, so that wasn't so much the issue. Obviously, I don't know them anyway, and they're entitled to their own opinion, and if they want to express it online and frustrate people, okay. That was kind of just like the cherry on top for me. So last year, for about 3 months, I actually only went on Instagram when I needed to, which was number 1, to post. And there was a time I didn't post for a couple months, and that was no easy feat for me. And 2, to work, because I was working at a social media agency, so obviously I did have to go on Instagram. And I was allowed, thirdly, to go on it on my laptop if I wanted to. Feel like my mind was slightly clearer, but I didn't think it was mind-blowing for my life. I just waited until I felt like getting back on it, and then that's why I returned to going on it whenever I want to. So the reason why I've been hesitant in the past to actually do a social media cleanse, like a full one, is because for Instagram, I actually do have side hustles. And for Facebook, I'm really scared of missing event invites because I love attending events, but those don't come as frequently as my mind thinks that they do. So I still think this is worth it, and I'm not going to use those reasons as excuses anymore. And this time I'm going cold turkey. So to start off this video, here are my ground rules that I've decided on. Number 1, when am I doing this till? Honestly, I don't know. It might be till I want to film my next video, which I haven't planned yet because I really just like think of my video ideas on the spur of the moment and then just film them. Or it could go for a month, or it could even go for just a week because of something urgent that comes up. So I don't know yet, and I'll be just filming my journey, and obviously throughout the video you guys will like come to know. What are the exceptions? Number 1, having to check the details of a meetup, especially if like I don't have them on any other platform. So like an appointment or work that I have via Instagram, because I do have a few potential collaborations coming up soon. In terms of Facebook, I'm going to rely on people like Bill or just friends in general to alert me if there is an important event coming up. Now we're going to block social media on my personal laptop. I did it yesterday on my work laptop, but I'm gonna do my personal laptop now. It's morning 1 and I already feel the itch to go on it. Usually I'll go straight on to Instagram, I would say. Facebook, not so much. Maybe I'll just like check the notifications that I have. I survived today at work because I actually just spent a lot of time in the level below not doing much. I spent time with my work colleague friends, and I actually just watched a bit of a movie with them. So it wasn't too hard today. The platform I use the most at the moment is YouTube. So in the future, I can just see myself having to take a YouTube detox as well. One whole day without Facebook or Instagram done. I'm pretty proud of myself because I didn't really feel any craving. I kind of had my mind flitter towards things like, oh, well, if this person who I'm meeting up with messages me and I only really communicate with them through Instagram and stuff like that. But most of the time they end up irrational. Like sometimes I'm like, oh wait, I do have their WhatsApp or the number, and I don't realize till I think about it. It's literally just one day, but like I'm probably more addicted than most people. I say my average screen time is like 6.5 hours a day, probably even 7. So yeah, it gets a lot, and that's like with a full-time job and everything. So it's kind of bad. I'm like constantly on my phone. So yeah, I thought that I might even get withdrawals in this first day, and I don't think I have. And to be fair, the more I think about it, the more I feel like I'll be likely to have withdrawals. So I'm trying to just like take my mind off it, which is basically the point, right? Like the point is to not think about what goes on those platforms. So yeah, that's day 1 done. Update of almost 2 full days without Facebook and Instagram. Today was my first sort of real challenge because I went to an event where I was dressed up. It was a wedding ceremony basically. So I thought that I might feel the urge, and I didn't. I do want to be transparent, and so I did accidentally slip and go on one Instagram webpage because I was showing a friend a wedding photographer that I like, and I didn't realize that with my website blocker, it blocks Instagram.com in terms of my feed, which is mainly what I want to avoid anyway. So it does make sense and it's okay, but I could still go on that individual's profile. I actually didn't feel an urge to like click onto my feed after that. So I had this one moment where I kind of felt like going on Facebook in a moment of boredom, but it passed very quickly. And besides that, I haven't felt any particular urge to actually go on social media. So it's been great so far. Someday I might do some sort of adulting series or at least one video about it, but something that I decided to do today was clean my whole room. I didn't clean it out in terms of actually like sorting cupboards out and stuff, but I did just clean the surfaces of where when you walk into my room and on surface level, it does look really bad. It's all clear now, and it's probably not something I would have done with Instagram and Facebook to keep me occupied. And then I just went grocery shopping for the first time by myself in order to cook a meal for my family by myself, like on my own accord. Like obviously I've been to the grocery store by myself and with other people before, but I just picked up celery and beef, and tomorrow I'm going to make a stew. I'm basically going in order of a cookbook that Bill gave me for Christmas because he's trying to drop hints that I should be cooking more. And this is just something where I don't want to go into detail because it's not to do with social media, but if I had Instagram and Facebook, I don't know if I'd have this clarity of mind today to be able to actually be like, you know what, I'm just gonna cook. Because honestly, like I was bored. I was like, if I don't even cook or like don't keep myself occupied, I won't do anything. So I also made brownies right before coming here. They should be in the oven right now because my mom continued the process for me. But that was also my second time making brownies like on my own. I am just trying to be an adult, and like going to the grocery store just then by myself gave me the same feeling of going to like Melbourne by myself. Like that is how like dependent I feel, and I feel like I can always do so much more than I think I can, but it's just like the doing of it. I'm just so not used to it. Everyone was brought up differently, and I was not brought up to go grocery shopping and to cook on my own accord. Like just wasn't a part of my life. So I'm trying to make a part of my life because I do want to kind of like grow as an adult and do adult things. I mean, I've been an adult for 4 years and I still have never like done this kind of thing before. So this is all new to me. Now, the problem I'm going to have is reversing out and getting out of this car park. So I'm going to try not to overthink it. I just made my manager a little note. Yesterday was her birthday, and she doesn't like the spotlight on her, but like I just thought it was nice because I really respect my boss. Probably not something that I would have like thought of again if I had been on Instagram or Facebook and just been distracted. It might have like crossed my mind to do it, but I wouldn't have actually like actioned it. I really don't feel bored. Something that is a little bit of a thing about all of this is that my screen time did go up by 9% last week, which is so stupid because obviously I wasn't on social media for the last couple of days of the week, but it is because I do spend a lot of time on YouTube. I just love what I can learn on YouTube, which makes it really, really hard for me to be able to quit. Happy Valentine's Day. Bill got me these flowers. It's our 4th Valentine's together, and I really like flowers. I only started to like them properly in the last year or so, so I'm just so happy he got me flowers. Had a really chill couple days, basically working Weather hasn't been that great, definitely not typical summer weather. But tomorrow is a Galentine's dinner hosted by one of my friends, and there are 8 of us going. I feel like because of the nature of the event, I'm gonna find it a test, if you will, to not go on Instagram, because I'm the kind of person where if anyone tags me in their story, I will add it to my story. That's gonna be a little bit hard, kind of just like seeing everyone take photos and being able to post them in real time. And obviously I can still take photos, but I will post them when I return to Instagram. That might be something that I have to sort of mentally overcome when I'm there at the dinner tomorrow. Obviously I'm gonna just try and be as present as possible and like not let it get in the way of my fun, but it could be an issue. Today I am working from home and focusing on work, getting ready for the Galentine's dinner, and also currently buttering some mantal. I honestly wouldn't be feeling so comfortable in the kitchen if it wasn't for quitting social media. It's literally been 5 days, so it's not a huge deal, but I do feel a little bit lighter. Today, for the first time on my personal laptop, I actually noticed my Facebook and Instagram bookmarks. So I felt a little bit of an itch to click on one of them, but I didn't. And I'm glad I haven't yet, because honestly, if I only do this for 5 days, I'm gonna be disappointed in myself. Something that's been really helpful is that I don't have any photos to post on my main account as a carousel right now. Like everything that I have on my camera roll that is new is basically just things that I would post in my stories or in my private account, which aren't as important, obviously. I feel like if I had a normal Instagram carousel lined up, I'd be way more tempted to go on Instagram. So thank goodness I haven't obviously taken that many good photos in the past 5 days. I'm back from Galentine. I have skincare all over my face that are samples my friend gave me, and I didn't know they were whitening, so that's why my face is a lot whiter than the rest of my body. Didn't really miss Instagram, to be honest. Looking at other people's Instagrams and seeing them all post on their stories, I didn't actually feel the craving I thought I would, which is good. Today, I went the closest that I've been to accidentally going on social media so far, which is I was just looking at the tabs and my bookmarks, looking into how I had Instagram and Facebook there. And without even thinking, I just instinctively pressed on Facebook, and I only got as far as seeing that I had over 20 notifications, and then I clicked out of it straight away. I didn't even see the feed actually load properly. So still didn't count, but that's the closest I've been to accidentally slipping up, and that was like totally by accident. I didn't even think about like, hey, let's click on Facebook. I just kind of did it, which just shows how often I probably did click on that bookmark without even knowing when I actually did go on socials. I didn't tell anyone at the dinner that I was doing this cleanse, because I feel like if I made a big deal out of it and kind of announced it, then I would kind of feel like, oh, now I like really miss it, you know? So I didn't say anything. No one brought it up either. Like, it's funny how like you can be someone who posts really consistently and constantly, but then once you go offline, you expect at least one person to be like, hey, you haven't been posting lately, but actually no one really cares or notices, which is so funny. No major update today, besides to say that I've hit a week without Instagram or Facebook. This is the longest that I've gone without either of them cold turkey, so I'm really proud of myself. I'm actually thinking that from now on, I'll probably only post on Instagram when I actually want to post. I really do enjoy my life without it, and I still don't have anything to post, so I still don't feel a huge urge to go on it anyway. Hey, so it has now been 9 days since I quit, and I actually found a way around the whole messaging people I only have on Instagram thing when I'm gonna meet with them. So tomorrow I have a shoot collaboration with a makeup artist, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go on Instagram for that. That's gonna be my first time that I go back on it. But I was reminded of the new function that just came in, I think late last year, where you can still message people from Messenger on Instagram. So I actually found her and just really hoped that she would reply, because it might have gone to her message requests on Instagram. And she did reply, and I explained how I'm on a cleanse and that I'm going to be messaging her on Messenger. So how great is that? I literally don't even have to log into Instagram to message people on Instagram anymore. And that is something that literally saved me in this whole cleanse process. Otherwise, I definitely would have had to go online to egg. Hello, today I did a collab with a makeup artist, hence the slight eye makeup and also just very messy hair from my shower. Like, I have a bit more of an urge than usual to post just because I've like favorited a bunch of photos I would post. So this is the first time in my whole cleanse that I've had photos to post. And I'm just gonna wait on her to send me the photos from the camera till I decide when I want to log back in. I also have another collaboration this Friday with a brow laminator, and I did the same method. I messaged her through Facebook, but the makeup artist today was telling me how it was pretty confusing, and like if she hadn't taken action on the different kind of Facebook functions, she probably wouldn't have replied. So I'm hoping that the brow laminator does the same. Otherwise, I'll just log in on Thursday night and confirm with her. 10 days is pretty strong, and I'm gonna continue at least until I get the camera photos back, and that's when I'll make my decision. The photos from the shoot are ready for me to post. I can't really get myself to actually be excited to download Instagram. I just feel like I'm so used to living without it now. But when I do feel ready, I am going to post. Something that might be a challenge will be that something that makes me go on Instagram a lot is just to see how my post is performing, hence why it wasn't that hard for me these past 13 days. I hope you guys enjoyed just seeing my little journey. I have made it to 13 days as of now, in case I don't post today. Today is Thursday the 23rd of February, so if I end up posting later, then you will know that I made it to over 13 days. I might post something on my private just as a little update to do a little bit of a photo dump, because now that I haven't been dumping random photos and then deleting them, I have 9,000 photos on my phone, and that's actually quite a lot. I actually can't even, like, for example, export these videos anymore because I don't have enough storage. With Facebook, I still don't really feel like I need to get on it. I think I might wait for an event that I have missed in terms of invite to pop up, and then I'll be like, okay, it's time to go back on, maybe even just to RSVP, then delete the app again, who knows. But I also haven't been tempted by the tabs on my personal laptop. Definitely see that I have reaped the benefits. I mean, I cleaned my room, I did a lot of things, like I slept earlier than usual, I cooked for my family, was a little more present when I was out with friends, especially when I was dressed up and when I would usually be posting stories. Good experience, and I feel like deleting them honestly didn't have much impact at all. By the end, only a couple friends had actually noticed and reached out to say like, hey, why aren't you active on socials? And so yeah, in the end, no one really minds what you do with your life, especially when it comes to your online presence. I think everyone's just kind of to each their own, like treat the apps the way that you want to treat them. Your relationship with social media is very much determined by you. I'm glad that I managed to do this and go cold turkey.